Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Curiosity Box, and in this video it is an autism educational video, and it is about how I came up with the ideas for my Inktober 2017 artworks. Now the 2017 Inktober was the first time I'd done Inktober, and I actually sort of started early and I wouldn't say cheated, but I went through the prompt list, and in the week or so before October I drew out all the pictures for Inktober. So I did sort of pre-prepare them, but then I put them up each day in October and shared them. So Inktober is when you draw an ink picture every day in October. I'll leave you the link to what it's all about in the description box. So this is my explanation of how I came up with the ideas for these pictures. Now when I was creating them, I wasn't creating them in order of the days, I was creating them as the ideas came to me. But I will be showing you them in the day order. So I went with the official prompt list. So this one is day 1, and the prompt is swift. So I used a pen and ink, a dip pen and a pot of ink to make this one, and I sort of did it at a sort of speedy pace, and it's meant to be Ross Poldark galloping on his horse over the countryside of Cornwall, and I basically swift as in things moving fast is what I went with for this one. See, that is what I drew for that, and I'm quite pleased with it. I don't think I captured Ross that well, but I think I got a sense of the speed of running over the windy hills, so I like that one. Day 2, the prompt is divided, and I had this I don't quite know how I came up with this, but divided had a vision of Titanic in my head and a washing machine, and it's 2 pairs of socks, and it's like Titanic for the socks, and that sock is in the pocket of the jeans, and the jeans represent the door that Kate Winslet's character was on, but she was like, I won't let go, Jack, and she did, because she didn't let him on the door. And this is like, that's Rose and that's Jack trying to hold on in the washing machine, but the washing machine is trying to divide them, so he's going to be eaten by the washing machine, and that's like sort of where I went with that. So these are amazing drawings, and probably aren't my best work, but I was exploring using different types of inking pens and different sort of techniques of inking and different line weights, which is something that I hadn't really gone into much before, so I did learn a lot about trying different techniques. So this is the day 2 one, divided. Now day 3, the prompt was poison, and I thought of this, and it's a train travelling down a neuron, and it's how once you've got self-doubt, it just sort of travels all round your brain, and it sort of poisons your way of thinking and your way of believing in yourself. So it's the Self-Doubt Express, and it's coming up to the station better than me. So, and I did this blue bit with metallic pen, and I did this one. I tried the technique of using cocktail sticks to draw with, cocktail sticks and liquid ink to try and draw it. So that's how it came out, and that's what I thought represented the word poison. So on to day 4, and the prompt is underwater, and I'm not quite sure how I came up with this, but it's this, like, because during the month of September, October, I'd started getting into watching everything about Disney on YouTube. So I watched a lot of tours around the Disney hotels and stuff, and saw the people in the swimming pool and having fun, and I thought underwater. So the story for this picture is these people, they're in the pool having fun, and when the end of their body goes underwater, it turns into an animal. So if that boy ducked his head underwater, his head would be a kangaroo's head. So any part of the person that is underwater turns into an animal. So this one is a zebra, and this one is a tiger, and this one is like a hippo, and this one is sort of a raccoon or a red panda. So if somebody were to dive in head first, the head first part of their body would be an animal, and the rest of them out of the water would be a human. So that's the idea I did for underwater, and I tried a different technique for doing the palm trees, which I really like. So it's underwater. Day 5 was the prompt is long. So I thought of different long distance, and this is a Morse code sender, and so I found a picture of this online, and I used this background, maybe because it's sort of like vintagey army, but I really like how the white pen looks on the coloured background. So I drew this to represent long distance, and the fact that it used to take a long time to communicate things, so it's sort of a double meaning. So day 6 was sword. Now I was trying to think of how I could do this. I didn't just want to go for the obvious and draw a sword, so I thought I came up with pogs. Now I used to play pogs when I was younger at school, and it was amazing, and it was something that really brightened my day at school, and I love playing pogs. So we got the slammer pog. So this is the slammer pog, and it's playing for keeps, because for those who don't know what pogs is, it's round cardboard discs, and then you get a stack of round cardboard discs, and you get a slammer, which is a plastic disc, and you have to sort of throw that, slam it against the cardboard discs, and whichever ones you sort of flip over, you get to, they're the ones you've won. So when you go up to somebody for a game of pogs, you have to decide, are you playing for just fun, or are you playing for keeps? Which means if you win pogs that are theirs, you keep them. I love playing pogs. I wish pogs would come back. So this was like my sword at school, was having a pog slammer. Oh, I love pogs. I wish they'd come back. I adore them. So day 7. Now I follow a lot of the Downing Street cats on Twitter, and they're amazing. I love them. And I thought, I know, I'll do a cat, and he's chasing trying to get a mouse. So the prompt for this is, the prompt is shy. So the cat is looking at the mouse, and I had this idea where it's like the mouse is one of them ladies out of old-fashioned movies, like from the Victorian era, or even further back, I think, where they used to use fans, and they used to send signals with fans. So the mouse has actually got a fly as a fan, and it's like hiding its face, and it's all shy. And this is the steps of Downing Street, and if anybody were to colour this in, they could pick which Downing Street cat this cat is. So they could colour him in as Larry, or Evie, or Ozzy, or Gladstone, or Palmerston. So they could colour them in whichever colour cat they like the best. So that is day 7, shy. So day 8 is, the prompt is crooked. So I was thinking of crooked, and what came to my head was that, I think it was a Van Gogh or Toulouse-Lautrec. It came to my head of the lady, the people drinking absinthe in the French bars, and they're all really miserable. So I thought, absinthe, yeah. So I decided to draw a crooked bottle of absinthe, or what the absinthe bottle would start to turn into if you drank too much absinthe. So I got this colour background for it because I thought it was an appropriate colour, kind of the colour of the drink. And then I got gel pen, and I coloured it in with this green base, and then I did little droplets with sparkly green gel pen. And then there's an eye, because it's sort of like surrealism, kind of a logo. And then the letters, because this person's drunk so much absinthe, the letters are turned into a snake, and is coming to bite them, and they think it's the snake's coming out of the bottle of absinthe. So that's the snake's head, and then the letters, and then that's the snake's tail. So quite like that. So that was for the prompt, crooked. Now this was day 9, and the prompt is screech. Now when I thought of screech, in my head came a Westlife concert, because the sort of gimmick that Westlife used to have was, whenever there was a key change, an important big key change in the song, they used to get up off their bar stools and stand up, and that's when all the fans, all the girls would go, ah, because that was like the big moment, they've stood up, ah. So I thought of all the screeching girls. So this represents Westlife, and these bar stools, I looked up what musical notes represent a key change in a song. So I made the bar stools out of these are the key change symbols, and then the bar stools are made out of musical notes, and these are the footprints of Westlife because they've stood up for the key change. So that's what I came up with for the prompt, screech. So this one, the prompt is gigantic, and instead of drawing the actual gigantic thing, I thought it'd be cool to just draw the effect of seeing something gigantic. So I did this person looking upwards and practiced my foreshortening to show that this person is looking at something really, really tall and really, really big, and they've got their hands on their hips at the back, and they have to support their back as they lean back to see this really gigantic thing. So that's the effect of that picture, and that's for the prompt gigantic. So I've got 2 pictures and one here, but we're looking at this one first. So the prompt for D11 is run, and it reminded me of whenever the ice cream man used to come round, and so I drew a double ice cream with 2 flakes, because amazing, and these musical notes represent the tune of the ice cream truck. So whenever the ice cream man came round, you'd just sort of hear the jingle at my house. We would hear the jingle, and then I'd say, run, Mum, have you got a quid, the ice cream man's here, quick, and you'd just run out of the garden. Half the time I wouldn't have any shoes on, and then I'd have to wait about 5 minutes for him to come back down the hill, so could I get an ice cream. So that's what that represents for me. So that prompt is run. So day 12, the prompt is shattered, and I had this paper. It's not quite showing up the right colour, but it's like a Tiffany blue background, and I've got this book of gems, and I thought I'd have a go at drawing the pattern cuts of the gems. Most of them are okay, but some of them I got a bit confused about. But I thought it was interesting to draw the patterns of how the gems are cut, and how the solid uncut gem is like shattered into these pretty faceted shapes. So that is what I did for the prompt, shattered. Now, day 13, the prompt was teeming, and I was really stuck, to be honest, with this prompt, and I was thinking, what can I do, and I didn't want to do anything too obvious, and eventually I was so stuck, I split the word up and decided, and got tea-ming. So I decided to draw a golf tee, and it's like it's been made in the Ming Dynasty. So it's got the Ming Dynasty style dragon in the sort of blue willow pattern, but it's on a golf tee. So that's what I came up with, the prompt teeming. Now, day 14, the prompt was fierce. So this is what I came up with, this here. I love watching American Dad. I love Stan Smith, he's amazing, and he's just really funny. And I also like He-Man. So I thought I'd draw He-Man, but then I thought I'd make him Stan Smith, because Stan Smith's got the He-Man style chin and the bulk. So I came up with this, and at school, we used to sing a song about He-Man. I think a lot of schools did this, and said, I have the power to pick up a flower. So it's Stan Smith as He-Man on a flower. So that is what I did for the prompt, fierce. So for day 15, the prompt was mysterious. So around this time that I was doing this, September 2017, I was getting into watching Rick and Morty. So I decided to draw Rick and Morty, and I also absolutely love the Professor Layton games. So I decided to do Luke and Layton, but I decided to switch their outfits. So this is Rick in Professor Layton's outfit, and Professor Layton in Rick's outfit, and Morty in Luke's outfit, and Luke in Morty's outfit, and Vic's doing his usual lovely gesture, and then I thought it'd be funny to get Luke doing the gesture to Morty. So I really enjoyed drawing that one, actually. I'm really pleased with how Professor Layton looks on it. It's really cool. So that was for the prompt, mysterious. The next one is what I drew for the prompt, and this is the prompt fat. So because I was getting really into watching Disney vlogs and stuff, I watched DFB, Disney Food Blog, and they have amazing, brilliant videos all about the food you can get at Disney. So I've been watching a lot of them, and I wanted to draw some of the Disney food. And when I drew this, I thought because at the same time I was getting into colouring books, and I thought, how could this be like a colouring book page? So I decided to go with a sort of thicker pen, and I really like how it looks, actually, because I really like how I got the texture here and the texture of the powdered sugar on the beignets, the Mickey beignets. So you've got Mickey beignets, and you've got the Pandora blue dessert thing, you've got Dole Whip, you've got Mickey pancakes with the ice cream on, the Mickey toffee apple thing, and this is the Mickey, I think it's sort of like pavlova or blancmange or something. And then you've got a macaron and one of them freak shakes from Planet Hollywood, and then like this is one of the Pandora drinks too. So I really enjoyed doing that one. It's really cool, I think. So day 17, the prompt is graceful. So I decided to draw an abacus because I watch a lot of documentaries on BBC4, and a lot of them are about maths. And even though I don't enjoy maths and I find it very difficult, and I think I'm dyscalculic, it's like really hard to keep numbers controlled in my head. I thought I'd do an abacus because, like, when Andrew Wiles or something, he solved Pythagoras' theorem, and then the guys who had to approve it and see if he really did solve it, they were saying, oh, it's so elegant. And maths guys, they sort of say things are elegant all the time. So I thought, I'll do an abacus because it's like graceful, elegant, and it represents the elegance of maths. So that's what I did for the prompt, graceful. Day 18, the prompt was filthy. And I sort of automatically come up with drawing Jimmy Carr. He's one of my favourite comedians. I really love him. I love his laugh. His main thing I love about him is his laugh. It's just gorgeous. I love it. He's so cute. And I especially love when they have animals on his programmes, and he's just so adorable with them. So this is 3 portraits of Jimmy Carr. So we've got this one, and then I sort of tried to do, I think I tried all of these in just drawing straight on with the ink without doing a pencil underdrawing. So I got this one, I've been laughing, and this one I did it with a different type of pen because at first it went a bit wonky, so I got a different pen out and tried different textures on it. And then I got this one, which I think is really cute. So I really enjoyed drawing those Jimmy Carr pictures for the prompt, filthy. So for day 19, the prompt was cloud. So this picture represents auditory processing disorder, and this is how it feels to be in, because it was sort of about Artscape and how because we had a really big room at Artscape and there's loads of people all in talking in the room at the same time because it was the chill out room. And this is sort of meant, this sort of represents me, and this is like all the people talking, and these are all the letters that can't get to my processing centres to understand, because lots of people are talking and it's really hard to pick out what people are saying. And inside these letters it does spell out auditory processing disorder, but you can't find it because of the auditory processing. So it kind of represents the difficulty and the sort of mass of different sounds and voices and trying to interpret words. So and it's like a cloud is sort of a barrier to stopping the understanding getting to my brain. So that's what I drew to represent the prompt cloud. Day 20, this represents the prompt deep. Around this time they had this programme on called Quacks, and it was about it was a comedy programme, and all about, it's a bit like Horrible Histories for grown-ups, and it's about when they first were discovering how to do medicine and how to make give people anaesthetic. So this, I specifically chose this colour background, and this is what they used to use when they put people under chloroform. They put sponges of chloroform in here, and then people would breathe through the mask, and the gases would travel down the breathing tube through the mask, and that's how early anaesthetic was delivered. So I picked this colour because I looked, and this is the kind of colour of chloroform and the early materials. So this is what I did for the prompt deep, as in they're way under the deep sleep. So that's what I did for deep. Day 21, and the prompt is furious, and I thought furious, and when people are furious I thought of the phrase people don't blow a gasket, and that's when somebody's really mad, and you say don't blow a gasket. So I looked up what a gasket looked like, and I found a broken picture of a broken gasket, a blown gasket, and I could put a Jew because somebody's like really angry, they're so angry they've blown their gasket. So that represents the prompt furious. Now day 22, the prompt for this is trail, and this is one of my favourite things on a guy, is the happy trail that goes their body hair, that starts at the chest and goes all the way down the middle of their front, and it is so cute. And I also love guys who have like a big sort of like plant under their armpits. It's like their arms are down and like normal, lift their arms up, and it's a real plant, and I think that's really gorgeous. And so this is my favourite kind of trail. So that's what I did. It was different, doing like I used different kind of shading because it's not something I usually draw, but I really enjoyed drawing that. I think it came out quite nice. Day 23, and the prompt is juicy. So the idea came to me when I was in my bathroom and I saw the air diffuser that I had, and so it was like air diffuser, walrus. So air diffuser plus walrus plus, so these are like walruses, but they're also fruit. So they represent juicy, and they're also walruses. So we have the sort of raspberry walrus, a strawberry walrus, and an apple walrus, but there could also be a blackberry walrus, and they're like an air diffuser, fragrance diffuser. So that's what I did for the prompt, juicy. Day 24, the prompt was blind, and it made me think about how blind we still are about space. And so I decided to draw one of the early, I think this is Sputnik, I'm not sure if this is Sputnik 1 or Sputnik 2, but I decided to draw one of the early space probes, and I did it in the white pen, and I really enjoyed using the white pen, and I really like how it came out. So this was for the prompt word blind, and it shows how we have to build these space probes and satellites, because we're so blind about space that it's really hard for us to understand what is out there. So that's what I drew for the prompt blind. Day 25, and the prompt is ship. So this one my ships. I was originally planning to draw a few of these, but because I packed all my Inktober drawings into about a week and a half, I was getting a bit tired, so I decided to just focus on one of my ships. So this is John Watson and Sherlock Holmes' ship, as portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, and they are in a locket with a ribbon. So I loved that, and I was quite pleased with how my Martin Freeman portrait turned out. So that represents the word ship. So day 26, and the word prompt is squeak, and what came into my head was actually a video of when I was at Artscape one of the times, and one of the doors was like really squeaky, and someone said, I'm going to see if I can find some WD-40. So they got some WD-40 to put on the squeaky door, and that's how I came up with just drawing a bottle of WD-40. So I used this sort of thicker pen for this, and I really like how it came out, so I'm really pleased with that drawing. Then day 27, the prompt was climb. So I think this is my favourite out of all the drawings I did for Inktober, and this is my instructional poster on how to fly when you're dreaming. So I've been able to fly in my dreams for quite a long while, quite a few years, and this is my technique. So I push off the floor to test whether I'm in a dream. My automatic test is starting to flap my arms and pushing my feet off the floor and seeing if I lift up, because some of my dreams can be very realistic whilst I'm in the dream. Of course, when you wake up you sort of realise what was wrong about it, but when you're in the dream it can be very realistic. So I do a test, and sometimes it's annoying because you've got like some really cool stuff or something, or you've had a really good time with David Tennant or something. So push off the floor, you have to push the air to lift your body, reach up to grab more air, and continue this action. But the most important thing about flying in your dreams is believing you can do it. You have to believe that you can do it. And this represents that time when I flew all the way up into space to the moon. So the way I escape nightmares now is to do this. I did a comic about it, which is on my blog, and I just fly straight upwards and keep pushing myself upwards, and eventually it's like I push open my eyelids from the inside of my head, and that's how I wake up. So I thought I'd do a poster about instructional poster, how to fly, and I thought I'd make it sort of like Victorian, like these old sort of Victorian posters. So that's what I did for the prompt climb. Day 28. The prompt word for this is fall. So I was watching, I think it's called Beard Meets Food, what is channel, and I tend to sometimes watch Speed Eaters, and it made me think that of if that they had a secret hole in the back of the neck, and the food goes in, and behind the back they've actually got a bucket, and the food goes out this hole on the back of the neck and goes in the bucket, and it makes it look like they're eating all this stuff, but really it's just gone straight out again, straight into the bucket behind them. So that's how I came up with this idea for this drawing. So that was for the prompt fall, of the food falling out the back of the neck. Day 29, the prompt is united. So I got this idea because I was listening to Bruno Mars on the Echo, and then I'd had enough of it, and I went to turn it off, and I thought, I wonder, I can't actually say the name because I've got my own now in my flat, so I wonder if is enjoying the music and gets like really annoyed when I turn music off. So I decided to draw her in the form of a sort of person, and this is the machine, and she's like a person in the embodiment of the machine, and she's enjoying the dancing and enjoying listening to Bruno Mars, and specifically the Bruno Mars song where you get the line Versace on the floor, and that's what the kind of the tune she's sort of grooving to. So that was for the prompt united, because we're united together and enjoying the music. So day 30, and the prompt was found. So I thought I'd draw you in a fancy style, because like since I found the autistic community on Twitter, it's just done wonders and it's brilliant, and I love everybody, and I love everybody who's supported my Twitter and my channel and supported everything I do. So I decided to do a little message for everybody who supports all my stuff, and I used gold and silver gel pens and did a bit of red sparkly gel pen. I don't know if it's picking up any sparkles. It's hard to pick up sparkles on cameras, but see, that's what I did for the prompt found, because I'm glad I found you all, because you're all awesome. And then the final day for Inktober 2017, the prompt was mask. So I thought of fairies, and because obviously I was still into watching Disney stuff, and I thought of because it was Halloween, fairies' worst nightmare of being inside a fursuit and these excited kids. So one's picking the nose and they're going to wipe the snot somewhere. This kid has got ice cream all over itself, which is what I used to do when I was a kid. It took me a while to be able to eat ice cream without being plastered in it. And then this kid has just been on a ride and is about to chuck up. So this is like being inside the furry suit, and you're like, oh no, and all like that. So that was what I did for the prompt mask, as in being inside of the mask. So those are all the drawings I did for Inktober 2017. I don't know if I'll be joining in Inktober 2018, we'll have to see how I'm doing by then. But I really enjoyed completing these drawings and trying out different ways of using the ink. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. You probably know all about the YouTube partnership program, so it would be really helpful if you could explore more of my channel, watch my stuff. I have over 700 videos for you to choose from. You can just watch my stuff anytime, even if you put me on in the background. Just, I need to get my hours up, our watch time up. And if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. I'd be so grateful. And if you have any other requests for videos you'd like to see, please just pop them in the comments box. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Yay!